People around the world have long projected sacred narratives from their landscapes. The traditions vary worldwide. At their core, such observances help to establish both time and place. The Lakota believe that sacred places on Earth are connection points with the sky. One such sacred place among the Lakota is the Black Hills that intersects the states of South Dakota and Wyoming, indicated by the red arrow on this map. A band of Lakota journeyed in the spring through the Black Hills, where many geological formations were found to be spiritual beings. Each geological formation has its own sacred narrative that together explain the creation of the Lakota cosmoscape. The Lakota band stopped at points where the geology was believed to be represented as stars along the path of the ecliptic, the apparent path of the sun. As indicated by the yellow arrows, the high points of Harney Peak are mirrored in the sky as the Pleiades, where the Lakota found 7 girls in this cluster of stars. Following the red arrows, we can see how Bear Lodge Butte to the viewer's right is found rising in the night sky as stars in the Greek constellation Gemini. In Lakota tradition, the deep vertical grooves in Bear Lodge were created by the claws of bears, which tried to capture children who escaped via being raised into the sky on the butte. Bear Lodge Butte is more well known today as Devil's Tower. The ecliptic intersection of Gemini and Bear Lodge Butte occurs for the Lakota at the summer solstice. In this time and place, the Lakota hold their Sundance ceremony, so as to ritually interact between the earth and sky realms. This Lakota tradition is an animistic way of experiencing the cosmos. Questions we may ask ourselves are, how deep in time have traditions of connecting the earth and sky been observed? And if we can find such evidence in rock art? Let us now travel with hunter-gatherers into deep caves tens of thousands of years ago, when animism was also the dominant belief perspective. That cave is in a mountain of the same name called Monte El Castillo, located in Cantabria on the far north of the Iberian Peninsula. Deep within the El Castillo cave on a 10-meter across limestone panel, called the Gallery of Discs, there are more than 80 red discs. Each is on average about the size of the palm of your hand. One disc among them has been dated to at least 34,000 years old. On this panel, we find a teacher and apprentice. Note the wide, interested eyes of the apprentice and how the teacher speaks into his ear. Perhaps he can tell us more about how to find our way in time and space. Let's listen in. Also listening in on the shoulder of the teacher is a fledgling golden eagle that stands about a foot tall. This is roughly a mid to late time June period for the young eagle. There is also this masked cosmic man, whose left leg and right arm are raised. The right hand holds what appears to be an egg. His left arm has a feathered texture. These bird features transform him into a superhero who can fly. We can take a closer look at the mask of the cosmic man. Note that he has one eye on the left side of his face, and the right is the beak of an eagle. One can see the impression of a nose below the mask, and what appears to be a mouth and teeth above a dropped chin. When we turn our heads sideways, the teacher and the fledgling golden eagle transform into the mask of the cosmic man. See how the artist used the juvenile eagle to form a beak on the cosmic man's mask? On this panel, we find a speckled mare. She appears to be leaping with her head turned as if agitated. This specked mare may not be familiar to you. She is a Przewalski's horse, distinguished by the stocky build, raised mane, and short muzzle. Our cosmic man merges with the speckled mare to give him speed in what the ancient Greeks would have interpreted as a centaur. We encounter another transformation, where a mask is put on to become a birdman or avianoid. Note that our hero's left hand is feathered and behind his back. This is also the feathered left hand of the cosmic man. They are the same character. On our journey, we encounter a mother Iberian lynx with a slightly tipped head and whose kitten pushes up against her ruff. This is a mid-June time period based on the depicted stage of the kitten and is consistent with that of the fledgling eagle. We enter a marine environment to encounter a giant crab lurking under a ledge. The opening in the rock that the Gallery of Discs crab emerges from is nearly identical to a natural geological formation at the northern end of the Rock of Gibraltar. The Ice Age artist copied a crab found in Paridolia, that apparently unique ability in the human mind to find impressions of images in rock formations, the clouds, and even among the stars in the night sky. With this close-up shot at a different angle, we can see the Paridolia impression of a crab's right arm and claw among the diagonal lines in the limestone rock. These natural features of the rock at the southern tip of the Iberian Peninsula were the inspirations for the Gallery of Discs crab character. The head and neck of the Gallery of Discs specked mare, rotated from the previous perspective, is on the same Rock of Gibraltar face as the pictured Paridolia crab. The raised mane of the horse was found in parallel horizontal lines of a ledge and crack below in the rock face. Continuing across the panel, we look up and are greeted by a monk seal. The Gallery of Discs monk seal has a fairly good resemblance in mirror to another geological formation on the north end of the Rock of Gibraltar. I use the words geological formation from a modern scientific perspective. To the cave artists, each character was a spiritual being. There is a spinning bottlenose dolphin with a bent beak. Note that the dolphin is depicted above the surf. We have features on the Gallery of Discs dolphin that came from Paridolia on the Rock of Gibraltar that again call to the landscape as the Ice Age artist's source. The artists viewed the lower fluke and dorsal fin at the high points. There is the flipper from the rock outcrop and the mouth and bent bottlenose beak that extend along the ridgeline. This was not the complete perspective of the Ice Age artists. Tens of thousands of years ago, the sea level was much lower due to water being held in glaciers. The Rock of Gibraltar would have appeared to be lifted above the surf. Note that the scale on my illustrated map varies from this perspective. My illustrated map to the viewer's left does not have the current man-made structures on the rock. We can compare my illustrated map with a modern photograph and a late 1800s illustrated historical map from slightly different perspectives. Note the subsurface feature indicated by the red arrow. We will return to this feature shortly. Our hero merges with the dolphin to become a merman, who is reminiscent of the shape-shifting old man of the sea in the Hercules myth. He meets a woman in distress. See her sunken chin and cheeks, sorrowful eyes, and long braided hair accentuated by the red discs. The woman has many features of Jebel Musa on the Moroccan coast of the Strait of Gibraltar. Jebel means mountain in Arabic, and the word Musa may be the name of a prominent Muslim or biblical Moses. The natural geological features look more like a pregnant woman than a man, as do those on the Gallery of Discs. The difference between the two are the chin and nose, both of which could have been eroded on Jebel Musa over the last 34,000 years. In antiquity, Jebel Musa and the Rock of Gibraltar were considered to be the pillars of Hercules that are featured on Spain's coat of arms. We can see Jebel Musa in the distant background behind the Rock of Gibraltar. Returning back to the Gallery of Discs on the journey home, we see a breaching humpback whale. Note that the whale is depicted above the surf in the same manner as the dolphin, the whale that our hero rides happily home in. We can find a Paridolia origin of the Gallery of Discs whale at the Rock of Gibraltar, where the now submerged fluke is still visible below the water. The dorsal fin is a point on the western shore, and the rostrum that forms the mouth opens to the north. The submerged fluke is the defining feature for the whale. The open area between the two peaks that I have marked by the red arrows could have been viewed as the ventral pleats of the whale where our hero actually rides. He couldn't travel in the belly of the whale. We all know that would be impossible. I would not have recognized the whale or dolphin Paridolia on the Rock of Gibraltar had I not previously seen them on the Gallery of Discs. We can find the origin of our wide-eyed hero in Paridolia, pictured here from two angles, on the northern Rock of Gibraltar face. His round face jumps out of the limestone of the Gallery of Discs and Rock of Gibraltar. To the viewer's far right side on the Gallery of Discs are the eagle that perches on the shoulder of the teacher, who transforms into the cosmic man. I have rotated the lower Gallery of Discs image to portray the cosmic man with his beaked mask, as depicted earlier in this presentation. Around the corner from the apprentice to a northern point on the Rock of Gibraltar are the Paridolia perched eagle, who when rotated becomes the beak of the cosmic man's mask. A face origin for the gallery of discs teacher is not clear. The Rock of Gibraltar Paridolia eagle faces southward and in the same direction as the gallery of discs reproduction. The Rock of Gibraltar Paridolia cosmic man with the beak mask gazes skyward, as also directly depicted on the gallery of discs. You can tilt your head to the right for the Rock of Gibraltar Paridolia cosmic man with the beaked mask skyward perspective. This shape-shifting transformation derives from overlapping Paridolia characters. We can view all of our gallery of disc characters that are built on Rock of Gibraltar Paridolia with my illustrated map. The illustration is a little busy, but we can see how the Ice Age artists found and utilized the high and low areas for the relevant features of the animals. On our journey, we have also learned a great deal about the Greater Iberian Peninsula region. That geography is depicted on the gallery of discs, where terrestrial animals indigenous to the Iberian Peninsula are depicted at the top of the panel, marine animals in the middle, and the image of Jebel Musa in western North Africa on the bottom of the panel, as oriented in this direction. The red discs that run down the center are oriented north to south. There is also a zoo of Africa animals on the bottom third of this panel map that we don't have time to discuss today. This journey was not just across land in the strait. We can turn back time to mid-June some 35,000 years ago with Starry Night Pro 8, an astronomical software, to see these depicted human and animal beings on the gallery of discs in the night sky as constellations. We can recognize many of them in the ancient Greek astronomical record. Traveling from north to south, at the top of the panel, as oriented in this direction, we have the masked cosmic man, who is the constellation Hercules. The eagle that he merges with is Aquila. The eagle also merges with the horse that is Pegasus to give her wings. On the shore is the seal, which the Greeks found to be the monster Cetus. I suppose that if one heard a seal in the dark, it might sound monstrous. In that great astronomical expanse we call the sea, it is the bottlenose dolphin Pisces, which is swimming southward, and the whale that returns the apprentice home in the opposite direction. The ancient Greeks told of Hercules kicking away a giant crab that is now in another area of the sky as the constellation Cancer. The missing lynx and boy are astronomical curiosities. We have found many common elements between Lakota tradition and the Aurignacian gallery of disc that dates tens of thousands of years apart. They are also separated by 2 continents and an ocean. There are similar traditions held among hunter-gatherers and pastoral people in the present. Perhaps current Western and Eastern traditions retain the same essence and rituals as well. Maybe we all come from tribes whose faithful once danced in the cosmos. More on my work can be found at these sites. I'm always open to cooperate on projects and virtually present this methodology to community and academic audiences.